Everyone's asking, is AI going to take over the voice acting industry? Well, let's talk about what it can do, what it can't do, and also how to prepare for the future with this upcoming change in technology nowadays. As a voice actor, I've done from audiobooks, some commercials, I've also done e-learning, animations, and you can't help but wonder, is my career going to end? Because it's before a few years ago, we didn't really have to worry about this because AI was like the thing of the future. It's still, there was maybe some parts of it that were available, but not to the extent that it is now. And as I'm looking at it, even we get commentary saying, hey, AI is going to take over voice acting. We don't need voice actors anymore. AI can do it. And I just wanted to go ahead and create this video to kind of address that question because I think it's not only me who's, interested in this or who's worried about this, but other voice actors as well. But this isn't specifically like a doom and gloom video. This is a video to educate you and how to be resourceful in the future and how to adapt with this change rather than fearing it. AI voices have gotten pretty good, I would say. A lot of companies use AI voices for maybe phone lines if you call a bank, or some maybe monotonous e-learning for a company that doesn't really require emotions, maybe some advertisement just to kind of have some voiceover in the background without actually really talking about it. And while it is out there, I do want to preface that companies use this because it's cheap, it's fast, and it does the work in seconds. They don't have to wait and direct the person and make sure that everything's flawless as their vision, which might take quite a bit of time. They just put in a prompt and then boom, it's out. And you don't have to even think about twice of it because it's going to be perfect every single time. You can do 1,000 times and it's still going to be perfect. And I guess to a fault in some ways. It doesn't mean that AI is going to take over the voice acting industry. It just means that the landscape itself is shifting. The type of work that is being replaced is much different than the type of work humans do in storytelling and other types of acting and anything else. There's a lot of differences in it. So let's actually go into our next thing. What are the differences between an AI and a human? So let's start things off. An AI can generate quick and cheap reads, sound consistent every single time, and crank out dozens of versions in literally seconds. That's what an AI can do. However, humans can act, humans can emote with subtlety, interpret subtext, improvise on the fly, and connect emotionally with an audience. And there's the big difference right here, or in one line, so to speak. AI can read the script. A human can perform it to what it needs to be. That performance specifically is what makes an ad stick, or what makes a compelling story relate with the audience, or an audiobook actually speak to the heart of the person listening. It's all because of this emotion that we are able to interpret into our voices and let others hear it. Therefore, where is AI strong and where is it weak? So unfortunately, AI is coming in and, making a rift in the voice acting industry. Here are the exact places that it's going to cause a slight rift. AI most likely is going to be replacing low-budget narrations, maybe some e-learning modules, maybe some phone lines or phone systems when somebody calls and you hear the automated message. Most likely that's going to be replaced. Maybe some corporate explainers as well, with maybe other small explainers for small businesses. So things like that, I think, are going to be replaced by AI. Maybe also high volume advertisements. So if a company needs, let's say, to test out an advertisement to see which one they like the most, let's say a company has 50 types of different advertisement styles they want to try out. Well, if they actually find somebody to narrate 50 different types of ads, that's going to take forever. And it's literally going to take forever, and it's going to cost so much money just to test something out. So what can they do? Get an AI, read this ad 50 different ways, 50 different iterations, whatever it might be, And then they can see exactly which one they like the most, which, I guess, style they like the most, and then use that and actually hire somebody professionally to go ahead and read that advertisement or commercial. That, I think that's going to be with, replacing humans, and AI is going to be starting to do that more often. I believe also like background or filler, I guess, words. So for instance, on TikToks or shorts, YouTubes, you might get one of those people like, that are showing a video and it's like, my cat did this today and I do not understand. Those really monotone, Siri-esque voices. I think they're not going to hire somebody for that. Maybe they don't want to use their own voice. Maybe they're afraid of speaking into a microphone, so they use an AI to do that. I think that's just self-explanatory. That's going to happen no matter what. Even before AI really became prominent as it is now, people were doing that as well. So I think that's still going to continue and maybe even rise. Maybe people are going to be using for small videos. Maybe small businesses are just going to use AI-esque voices just to kind of showcase, I don't know, a random reel, a random TikTok, whatever it might be. But here is the places where voice acting is still strong and will be, I think, strong for quite a long time. Audiobooks and storytelling. Long-form narration audiobooks, I think, are still going to require human voices. There are companies, and I've heard them too, that are trying to use AI for an audiobook to, I don't know, make it quick, fast, cheap, whatever it might be, but they suck. I don't know if you've actually heard an audiobook narrated by an AI, but it's absolutely dreadful. You are just sitting there, like, I don't know if it was an AI, like, book specifically, or it was a podcast, but I was listening to something. And even though the book itself might have great materials, might have a great message, and something that really pertains to my life, as I'm listening to this AI narrator, oh my gosh, I'm just like dozing off. My mind is wandering. I can't concentrate. For me to concentrate, I literally have to like sit there and think because it's just so monotonous. It's so excruciatingly hard to listen. And I believe that no matter how much they're going to try to push this, for now at least, for what I've seen, long form narration is still going to be so vital for humans to do, because it requires so much emotion. It requires the art of storytelling. It also requires the emotions needed to be able to record something like that. Because if you have an audiobook and you have many characters, you have to make sure every character is differentiated. If you just have an AI reading it, the AI is going to read the character in the same voice as reading the actual narration or whatever. It's going to suck. So I think a human is still so important, specifically for that type of craft. I think video games and animations are also still needing voice actors. There's also, once again, there's companies. I think there was a company that came out that apparently they were using AI voices, and whoa, people were mad. People did not like that. They did not like that. Like, not specifically AI for like the background voices, like sometimes you get like an NPC and you're like, go that way. Like, I don't know, whatever. Like, that's one thing. But if you actually have the main character have an AI voice, that kind of sucks. Like, because the video game characters are supposed to connect with the person playing. They're supposed to allow the person to kind of interact the game as a specific character. When you have that character, let's say, have this really robotic voice, it just sucks. And also with video games, you need a very specific type of voice acting. For instance, if they win something, they like, hurrah, they yell, they scream, maybe they make noises for kicking and punching, whatever. It's actually really hard to do that with AI. I don't know if you've ever heard an AI try to like do like like a punch. It just sounds so wrong. I think that's still very relative to humans to this day. I just think we need to also expand to make sure that we're not just focused on one aspect of video games, but just extending our range to all aspects of video games. Because if you're a person who only focuses on one certain type of style, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. I think you just have to be very versatile and adapt to different types of styles. Commercials and branded advertisements still require that human connection as well. When you listen to like a L'Oreal commercial or a Nike commercial, that person, when they speak, they have a specific aura, I don't know how to say, a specific tonality that really drives that brand, that allows that brand to really spark life. And even an AI can do it, but it just sounds so lifeless. And therefore, I think commercials still require that emotional range within it, being able to adapt to different style, maybe a little bit of a pitch, because I think I mentioned in a previous video that commercial work really requires every word to be spoken in a certain manner, every syllable to be having a certain inflection. That is what drives the point home to the audience, to the viewer of this commercial. So I believe AI is not going to be replacing commercials in quite some time. Some companies are going to try it. Some companies are going to attempt to use AI, but I think it's going to ultimately backfire and fail for that company. And this might be a hit or miss, but I think certain aspects of content creation and like YouTube branding, you don't want to hear a YouTube video, something like that is all like synthetic, or the voice is synthetic. There are, I don't know, like some explainers on YouTube, maybe a company's brand. Like, you want to, if you see a brand on YouTube, Instagram, you kind of want to hear the brand. You want to hear the owner, maybe the employees, whatever. You don't want to hear a synthetic voice attached to it, because it's going to give, I think, negative impact to the company itself. But however, I've actually recently seen a little bit more of brands and YouTube videos actually using synthetic voices or AI voices. So this one, I think, is shifting as we speak. Literally, as this video is going, I think it's shifting, but I think it hasn't shifted to that amount to where humans are being replaced. I think humans are still very valid in like YouTube narrations, maybe like influencers who want to represent a brand. I think that's still extremely valid to this day. So how do we stay prepared? We know what AI can do, we know what AI can't do, but what can we as a voice actor be prepared for the future? Because the future is always inevitably changing. And I said that really strangely, but it's always changing. So how can we stay ahead of it? First, we need to upskill ourselves. We need to keep working on our acting, keep working on our emotional availability or ability. We also need to study improv, being able to do character work, reiterations, and these areas specifically, AI is still struggling because they always need a human to input a prompt, which is kind of ironic. They need a human to do it. It doesn't matter. Yes, you have to improve your skill sets, even do more than what you were doing now. Also, you need to now brand yourself. You are no longer just a freelancer doing voiceover work here and there and there. No, you are now a brand, and you have to showcase your brand, because if you do the work but you have no brand attached to your work, people are not gonna know who you are. So it's so important to have a brand identity, because an AI doesn't have a brand. So what makes you differentiate between you and AI? AI doesn't have a brand. You need to have a brand. You need to build your own business of that specific brand, and also build a recognizable platform online for others creators, for other people to see you as well. Because honestly, social media is so important these days, more than ever before. And I would say, to be, I guess, on the safe side, is to diversify your income. If you've only done audiobooks and that's all that you've ever done, you haven't went to any other niche, I think you need to start diversifying and trying out other niches so you have a very diverse portfolio, because I don't know where AI is going to be specifically in the future or 10 years from now. You have to be able to have many types of skill sets, because that is what people are looking for nowadays. They don't want one person that just only does one thing. They want, honestly, like a jack of all trades, but a master of all. That's kind of what they're looking. So diversify. And honestly, leverage AI. AI is here for everyone to use, hate it or love it. That's just what it is. Maybe you could use AI to generate background voices, in your project. You can try to leverage it. Maybe use an AI chat box on your website with people come. You can actually have, some companies do that. So you can actually chat with the people who come on your website. There's many ways to do it. You just have to know exactly how to leverage it. And I think that is so important. So is AI going to replace voice actors? No. And that's the answer. But it is changing the industry as we speak. The jobs that never relied on true emotional performance or real performance of a person, the work that really nobody wants to do, that's kind of being replaced by AI. If you lean into the emotional storytelling aspects of voice acting, if you are able to create your brand and leverage your brand for your business and everything, and also be able to focus on your craft, you'll not only keep working, but you're gonna have even more work. And there's so many testimonials, there's so many people who've said the exact same thing. Some people are scared of AI, so they don't even want to try it. But there's people who, like, even though there's AI, they have even more work than they have ever had before. And that's because AI cannot replace voice actors. Because at the end of the day, AI can generate a voice, but it cannot generate you. I hope this video helps you understand the AI industry of voice acting and give you a little bit more insight and how to prepare for the future. If you like this video and want more, please be sure to like and subscribe so I can continue making content and more of these videos to help you out in everyday voice acting life. Hope you have a good one.